Welcome back to Snetterton and the Marangoni Tyres Production BMW Championship in association with Quick Fit. Race 2, the grid started from race 1, so it's Mike Tovey in pole position with Matt Parks alongside him on the front row of the grid as we are about ready for the start here in car with Harry Goodman. Away we go, it's a brilliant start from third from Ben Winrow, a slightly sluggish start from fourth from Liam Criddy as we ride in car with the race leader Mike Tovey as he goes side by side with Matthew Parks on towards Rich's. Great shot that, the leaders absolutely together, but I think Tovey having the inside line should have enough there to prevail, but no, around the outside goes Matthew Parks, so it's Parks who snatches the lead away from Mike Tovey at the second corner of the race as they work through the hairpin at Montreal. Is everybody cleanly through? Not quite. Stuart Waite's outbraking himself and just struggling to make the corner as Mike Tovey though trying to draw alongside Parks, accelerating into the hairpin at Agostini, and he's going to go through. So Mike Tovey 4 corners into the race and he's decided he's had enough of being in second place. He wants to take the lead, so through he goes into the race as Harry Goodman is up behind Simon Glenn out of the hairpin at Agostini and accelerating on towards Hamilton, where it's just an endless train of production BMWs at the moment, being headed up by last year's champion Mike Tovey. Second place is Matthew Parks, third place then Ben Winrow, and Liam Criddy recovering from that poor start to be in a very attentive fourth position as Winrow right up to the bumper of Matthew Parks, turning through Oggies. He's going to force the issue into Williams here, but he can't quite draw alongside Parks, so it's Parks who will maintain second position, although I fear that's only going to be for another few hundred metres because Ben Winrow is driving like a man possessed in the early stage of this race as he can see Mike Tovey at the lead of the field, just beginning to put a little bit of daylight between himself and Matthew Parks. A little bit lower down the top 10, and Harry Goodman successfully negotiates Nelson for the first time, but Miles Howard is going to try and squeeze through here en route to the bomb hole, and Howard in the bright orange car, then ahead of the all-white car of Harry Goodman, and Leonard Oliver is also very much in the mix, accelerating on towards Coram. Goodman though able to cover his line as out of Coram, sliding on those Marangoni tyres, is the race leader Mike Tovey with in second position, and on 2 wheels Matthew Parks, third place still Ben Winrow, fourth is Liam Criddy, and fifth place is Jack Gabriel, then a slight gap back to Simon Glenn in 6th position. The rest of the field more or less all together as one in 7th, accelerating onto the centre straight, and Harry Goodman looking to reclaim that place he lost earlier on from Miles Howard. He draws alongside Miles as they go over the start to finish line, and Goodman should just have his nose in front here into Richards. Yes, he does, and that's a very nicely judged move from Harry Goodman, so he gains the place as Liam Criddy is on the prowl for third position here. He moves to the inside of Ben Winrow and through he goes, so Criddy up into third position, Winrow back to fourth, and still Jack Gabriel in fifth. Now will Winrow fight back into Palmer? He may be forced to, because if he doesn't go for that move, Jack Gabriel will. So covering the inside line just in time though is Liam Criddy. All the while though, they've still got the second place man, Matthew Parks, right with them. Here is Harry Goodman then, out of Hamilton, to Agostini rather, accelerating on towards Hamilton now, as he continues to try and chase down Simon Glenn. It's very, very tight up ahead, isn't it? And that's why, because Liam Criddy is trying to make his move on Matthew Parks at Hamilton. That's a very brave place to do it, and he's going to be left out on the outside line here, and Ben Winrow is going to try and reclaim that third place. It's Winrow to the inside, and through he goes, and Liam Criddy trying to snatch the place away from Matthew Parks. Could lose third, but he can't quite be demoted by Ben Winrow because he's able to keep the outside line, so Criddy just maintains his place as they streak down the Bentley Straight once more on towards Brunton Nelson. This is a super race, isn't it, for second position, because the race leader Mike Tovey will be rubbing his hands with glee when he sees this race back, because this fight for second is just enabling him to disappear at the head of the field, and Ben Winrow is now at risk of losing another place because Jack Gabriel tries to look to the inside line as they head through the bomb hole. Simon Glenn also pushing very hard in pursuit of Gabriel. So Parks in second position, about 2 car lengths clear of Liam Criddy midway through Coram Curve, and then Criddy has still got Ben Winrow up onto his tail, over onto 2 wheels goes Criddy. Now will that have bumped him off the pace a little bit onto the centre straight? We'll find out in due course, as Steve Gilbert having a good battle at the moment with Manoli Yanagas. That's a little bit lower down the order for 25th position, just in the hands of Gilbert at the moment. And yes, we saw Criddy, he was too aggressive over the curbs, and that means that Winrow fights his way through at Rich's. Oh, that's brilliant from Ben Winrow. He had a car's width and absolutely no more than that given to him by Liam Criddy, but Ben Winrow able to thrust his way through back into third position, and that was an astonishing move from Ben Winrow. And Crilly's going to be further demoted here because Jack Gabriel looks to the outside at Palmer. Crilly, though, keeping his foot in, side by side they run, and actually Crilly may hold on here as long as he can keep that inside line as they head towards the head of Agostini. More battling lower down the field. It's Michael Hare and Mark Palmer, and Hare just able to move up ahead of Palmer. And Ben Winrow, not only has he made the move on Crilly, he's now out of our shot, being able to sneak past Matthew Parks as we ride back in car with Harry Goodman. Simon Glenn tries to make the move on Liam Crilly and gets barged aside. And in fairness to Liam Crilly, I don't think he'd have seen Simon Glenn there. He was very much in his blind spot. And Crilly taking the line for that corner, unfortunately, leaving Simon Glenn with nowhere to go. So he's forced onto the grass. Winrow in second, but chasing down Mike Tovey is going to be a little bit too much for tall order here because he is several seconds clear up the road. The battle for third position, though, is still very much on, and Harry Goodman is working his way up towards the tail of it as the dust gets kicked up by Gabriel, Crilly and then Goodman. And these Marangoni tyres have absolutely transformed the championship this year. They really have given us some super racing. The drivers having to work very hard to manage them as we catch the end of Simon Glenn's exit from proceedings. Also a spin, Hamilton from Jeff Bevis, and in sympathy around comes Stephen Murphy. So as Bevis starts moving once more, Murphy comes to a halt. Here's the fight for third position, Liam Crilly and Matt Parks, and Crilly couldn't fit a sheet of paper, could you, between the two bumpers as he tries to draw alongside Matt Parks, accelerating towards Palmer, although Crilly on the outside line there, he's going to struggle to get through. Instead what he does is tries for the switchback, and Crilly very direct on the turn in there to Palmer, trying then to move to the inside as they head on towards Agostini. Not sure he's quite able to do that as Nigel Olive-Jones has got a gaggle of cars up behind him, including Kevin Welsh, also Christian Dean in the 17 car up onto his tail. And Crilly has forced his way through at Hamilton past Matt Parks. Parks then looks to fight back into Oggies. He gets his nose in front, but he's to the wrong side of the circuit, so it's Crilly to the inside, and he moves back into third position. It's Parks in fourth with Jack Gabriel in fifth, Harry Goodman in sixth position. Gabriel has got a run here on Matthew Parks out to Williams onto the Bentley straight. They're running out of laps. Crilly knows that the two behind him have got the pace because he covers the inside line all the way down the straight, just moving across in time for Brundler Nelson. Out of Nelson they come now. Are we going to see the challenge from Matthew Parks? No, we're not. Jack Gabriel, the third of the cars in that train, the very bright sky blue machine. Just a few spots of rain as well beginning to appear on the camera lens. Let's hope that that doesn't come down any harder over the remainder of this race. There is Simon Glenn. After all of his adventures, he's just up ahead of Steve Turtle. As looking to make the move is Ian Russell, so he gains the place on Andrew McGregor. Also Brian Jones in the 84 car past that battle. He goes past Andrew McGregor as well as they turn into Coram Curve. Matt Swaffer accelerates out of Murray's, and then he's ahead of this Simon Glenn battle. And this is one of the beauties of this championship. Whatever your pace, there is always somebody or several people to race with. Unless you're Mike Tovey, who today has really been able to pull out that advantage over Ben Winrow in second position. And Mike Tovey is looking well set for a dominant brace of victories today at Snetterton. Harry Goodman, though, is becoming very familiar with the rear of Jack Gabriel's car. He's up behind him in the closing stages of race one. As we move towards the end of race two, that's exactly where he is again, and in turn Gabriel is bottled up behind Matthew Parks, trying to find a way through, but at the moment though it's Matt Parks who holds on to fourth position, and is, as is his right, driving a very wide defensive car that makes it almost impossible for Jack Gabriel to get past him. Now is Gabriel going to be able to challenge into Agostini? No, he's not. Again, bang in the middle of the road is Matt Parks. There's no way through there for Jack Gabriel. Harry Goodman again very smooth at the wheel through Agostini, defending his line quite assertively. There is Parks, and Gabriel looking to the inside of Parks. Can he fight through? No, he can't, not quite. So the three of them out of Hamilton into Oggies once more. The fight for fourth, fifth, sixth, and now seventh as Miles Howard takes advantage, and he begins to latch himself up onto the tail of what has been an absolutely nip and tuck battle really throughout the course of this race. but Mike Tovey it is who leads the way as he accelerates on towards the bomb hole, and we really are heading towards the final few corners of this race. Mike Tovey has put together an emphatic performance as Gabriel makes contact with Parks. Parks slides the car, he holds it at a lurid angle and maintains fourth position across the grass. So in fourth place it is still Matt Parks, as Mike Tovey accelerates then out of Murray's for the final time. We ride in car with Mike Tovey as the checker flag is ready and waiting. It's going to be 2 from 2 this weekend at Snetterton, and there's the delight from Mike Tovey, fists pumping as he celebrates his victory. Second place will go to Ben Winrow, third to Liam Crilly, but what about fourth? They're still running in the train, accelerating out of Murray's, and it's going to be the end of race 2 as it was in race 1. Harry Goodman right up onto the tail of Jack Gabriel. What super entertainment from the Marangoni Tyres Production BMW Championship in association with Quick Fit there, with Mike Tovey winning race 2, Ben Winrow in second, Liam Crilly completing the podium, and then Parks from Gabriel and Goodman.
Mike, you led by miles, didn't you?
Yeah, me and Matty were on the front row and we both got a good start and got away, and we sorted ourselves out and just managed to get my head down and just watch the battle behind and just watch me break away. It was easy.
So let's take a look then at the provisional championship standings, with Mike Tovey leading the way from Matthew Parks. Ben Winrow is in third position. Those three breaking clear of Liam Crilly in fourth position. Well, we've had a super weekend's racing here at Snetterton from the Marangoni Tyres Production BMW Championship. Join us in a few weeks' time for all the action from Alton Park.